Mr. Irontrader, it is Friday morning, TGIF. Now we look at the old NASDAQ. Futures are down about 30, but let's just see how the whole day shakes out, kind of a situation. Okay, we take a look here at Bitcoin, at Ethereum, gold, silver, crude oil, and natural gas. And remember, there's a rig count there at 1 p.m. for crude oil and natural gas today. Okay, this video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy, selling stock by ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Alrighty, here we have Bitcoin all stretched out for daily and your weekly chart. Now you can see here, there is nothing bullish about this pattern at all. Okay, see how we're doing? We're just putting a series of lower highs and lower lows in until we're going to find a bottom. Okay, so you say, well, where's that bottom? So far today, we hit this, what did we hit there today? We hit 81,485 level, okay? So your next level is going to be right here, okay? That's your next level. It's going to be 79.55. And then we'll come right to the bottom here. You're looking at 78,495. And then we're going to be looking at the bottom here at 76,390. And then here's your big retest down here, right at this candle right here at 74,635 level. Okay, so that should hold. Simple reason is because what we have here, when you look at there's that on the weekly chart here, there's that 74,635. If you look to the left here, see how we had all this kind of 74,415 level. Okay, see how that is? That should be very, very strong. Simple reason is as it rallied on up here, and then it came and went sideways, consolidated, and then it broke out of that. So as a lot of times when that comes and sells down, it will hold that level just like it held right there. So we got to see that's going to be very, very key level. It's going to be right there. It's going to be that top of that candle, but just watch right there. That's going to be key, 74,635. Now, again, if we lose this, well, you know, you can come all the way down to 67 level. We come down here, you can go 65 level. We have 58.9 level, and then we're going to run right in here to this 55 level at that 55,694. There's your 200-day on your on a weekly chart. Now, again, I'm not saying that's where it's going to go, but I say it's very, very possible if we start losing this 74,635 level. Okay, so when we look here on a daily chart, as I say, yeah, now we have to get all the way back above everything what we lost. Okay, so your resistance level is going to be all the way back up here again, which is going to be at that 83,190 level. Okay, and then we can just follow the candles right on up here. What we got there is you got that 84,790 level, and then we can start here with this candle. Okay, what we have is got 86.75, and then we look to today's high. You're looking at that 88,150 level, and we just keep right on venturing, 88,600, and then we have 89,325, and then we'd be looking right here for that 92,644 level. But you can see here how this is an absolute waterfall. See, it's 8-day, 21-day, 50-day, the 100-day. There's nothing bullish about this pattern. What we need is some kind of a reversal situation, but eventually I think you will. Usually when you get this all the way down, what it does is it comes down and it'll settle down, and then we'll have some kind of a reversal situation. Okay, so what you're really looking for is something on this. Okay, see where it sells down and we get this low. Okay, and then we had that low of that 74,635, and then it retested it, okay, with 74,655. Okay, see how we had that higher low. That was the reversal, and then you can see once we got back above that 8-day, it rallied up. Now, this is going to be a little bit more severe because this is just falling right off the cliff here. Again, what you're looking for is like a situation like this where you have a double bottom, or you're looking for like a red dog where it pops all the way on down, and then people jump into even more shorts positions, and then it rallies up higher. And then that's where you take it right back up again. Now, again, easy way to trade this is just look for opportunity. IBIT for the long if you're 1-to-1. BITX if you're 2-to-1, and then I've been trading is just the short position BITI, which has been working out very nice. So a lot of people are panicking here about the Bitcoin. Just short it when you can see a pattern like this. There's nothing long about this, and you can always do the little scalp ski. You know what I'm saying? Like we had here. This was I thought we had a possible bottoming tail, but then you can see the next day it took it out, and then once it takes out that negates that bottoming tail, and then it just keeps right on rolling. But right now there is nothing here. What I'm looking for realistically is this candle right here at that 74,635 level. That's what we're going to be looking for. And again, if we start losing that, you can come all the way down to this 55,693. So just be a little bit patient with this. If you're just a long trader, just be patient. Wait till we get a bottom and a bottom signal kind of situation, and then we can turn this around. The key is you have to get back above that 8-day. Okay, so once you're above the 8-day, okay, it wants to hold it all the way up. When you're below this, look at this. You're fighting it the whole way. So eventually this will turn. But again, just be very, very patient. Okay, let's take a look here at Ethereum. Okay, here we have Ethereum daily and weekly. And I can see here we lost that nice 200 SMA here at that 3065 level. Okay, we had a possible double bottom situation going there, and then once we lost that on a closing basis, then it's done. Okay, so far today, 2654 level. Okay, so what we're doing next is just bring this price channel right across. Okay, you're looking right there. Okay, 2531. That's your next target. Then we just bring this price channel right across. Next target, 2383. It will come down to there, 2344. And then bring this target right across here, 2175. Okay, that is going to be your big targets. Now we're getting here to, you're not oversold yet. Okay, you're only sitting at 29. This could go lower the same way with this. This could go lower here. Okay, so again, all you have to need to do is just bring the price channels across. Those are going to be your key support levels until we get all the way down here to this 2175 level. Okay, now when we look at the weekly chart, well, you can see here right there, 2454. If we can hold that 200-day, that could be a good buying opportunity to take it back up. The question is if. That's it. You know what I'm saying? If. Now, again, on a weekly chart here, if we start losing that level, then we'll come right down here to that price channel and that 2383 level. Okay, so again, if it comes on down, just watch that 2454. So what you really want to do all the time is use a daily chart and a weekly chart. And then what I always do is every week I always look at a monthly chart too, and that gives you a pretty good gist, right? Now RSI here, you're not nowhere near oversold. We have plenty of room to run all the way down to the bottom here, just like we did here, and we can get oversold like we did over there. Okay, so there is plenty of room to run, and the green is over your red. So this could come down. I'm probably looking right here for this 2454, that level right there. And again, then we can come all the way down here to this candle, that 2175, if that is lost. Now, a reality on the upside, we're looking for yesterday's low, 2792. We'll look through today's high. You're looking at a 2893 level. Okay, and then we'll look right to the bottom there. You're looking at that 2959. But realistically, you got to get back above that 3065. There's your 200-day. And then we got the 8-day right there at 3056, which now crossed it, which is very, very bearish. Okay, we have the same thing we have going on Bitcoin. See the 8-day, 21-day, 50-day. Nothing bullish about this chart whatsoever. Okay, so when we have this, same thing like in Bitcoin, that 8-day, once that price gets above the 8-day, then she rallies right up nicely. Okay, you got to get above that 8-day. But when you're below it, look at here how you're fighting it, and then it goes right into that catch-all, that 21-day. Okay, boom. And then she just keeps right on pushing out. So we're looking for a reversal, the same thing as we do like on the old Bitcoin. Okay, let's take a look here now at gold and silver. All right, here we have gold and silver. Now you would think when you had that big sell-off yesterday that gold and silver would be rallying, because I always look at these as almost like a fear factor kind of a situation, okay? And I only do the longs. I do GLD for the long, SLD for the short. SLD for the long here for the silver. Okay, I don't do any shorts here on gold and silver. I'm not really what that called big gold and silver trader. I like the oil, the natural gas, the gasoline, and all the technology plays. Okay, and Bitcoin, both directions. Okay, now what we had here, we had a nice good rally here, but we topped out at that 42.50, and now we've been playing this pinball here between this 21-day and that 8 SMA here. Now you can see here, right now we're right below it. So what we're looking for on the downside is we need to hold this 50-day at 39.98 level. Okay, so that's where we're looking. If we don't, we can retest this 39.01 very, very easily. Okay, on the upside, you got to get right back above that 40.49. That's your 21-day, and we have to get above that 40.95 level. If we do, then we'll come to the top of there, 41.34 level. We just venture on 41.55, 42.18, and then you retest up there at 42.50 level. But right now we have this sideways consolidation. This is not overbought, oversold. The same thing here. We just have sideways action consolidation where we had this huge run up, and this isn't really nothing that's uncommon where we get a little consolidation, kind of rallies up here. But for me, I have to close back above that 8-day. Once I close above it, not pop and drop here, I got to close above it. Then we can retech that 42.50. Then I'll jump into GLD. But for me right now, I have no trades going here. Done. I was out right there on that candle, and that was it. Okay. So right now today on the upside, watch that 21-day, watch that 8-day. That's going to be very, very key. On the downside, watch that 50-day. We lose that, we have to retest 39.01. Okay, silver. Okay, we had that nice double top, and it was a really good trade. But you always have to watch on the left chart here, on the left-hand side here. See that 53.76? Yeah, did we make a higher high? Yeah, but did it hold it? Oh, hell no. It didn't hold nothing. Okay, and that's the where she came right on down. Now, it rallied up, but then look at this. Another topping tail candle, and then now look what we have. But where'd it go? Right down to that 50-day. Okay, see, that's why you want to trade the chart. So we lost the 8-day, lost the 21-day. Now we're holding on to that 50-day, 48.02. That's going to be very, very key. Now, we lose that. We're going to come right down to the bottom of there. You're looking at 47.41. Right there, we have 46.52. Then we have your retest down there at 45.51. Now, upside right there. You got to get back above that 49.19. That's your 21-day, and we have to go is that 50.78. Again, I have no position in this because it has, for me, it has to close back above that 8-day. Then I would jump in the SLV, and then we take it up to this level here, 51.57. Okay, 52.24 level. We can retest this 53.37. Then always look to the left, 53.76, and then 54.41. But right now we're holding that 50-day. So right now you still have an uptrending chart situation. So when we take that out a little bit, same with the old gold here, we take that out, you still have a good uptrending chart with a consolidation. Now, I was pointing out here how we had this cup, and I thought maybe possibly we're still in a phase of maybe even building a handle here. But again, if we start losing that 50-day and that in this 39.01 here to retest, well, then that negates that whole pattern. So all the time you want to do is look for patterns. There's that cup, and now looking for a handle situation. And then once that breaks out, boy, I tell you, she rips like you can't believe. But that's not what we have. We just have this sideways action. So if it keeps on extending out, that cup and handle is negated. Now here we didn't have anything. We just had a clear double top situation and then came right on down. But we're holding that 50-day. So watch that 50-day on downside. We lose it. 45.51 is your target. Upside, 21-day, and that 8-day. Now, we're not overbought. We're not oversold here. Okay, this could go lower. Same way here. The green crossed over your red. So right now here, I would just, for me, I have no trade going on here and no trade going on there. Okay, let's take a look here at the old crude oil. All right, here we have crude oil. Okay, now you can see here we had a possible inverse head shoulders pattern, just like we had here. See this? Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. I said it's going to the 200-day. Boom. This was that war premium. Okay, quick review. Then we had a left shoulder here, head, right shoulder. But the right shoulder is, I mean, come on, man. That's just that's a little bit of a bigger right shoulder there. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how much you work out. That's a big right shoulder. But then if you're going to work out, you got to do this guy here too. You can't just do one. Okay. So again, this 50-day, look at that. Okay. Boom. Look how strong that is. Okay. So when we couldn't get through here, I put the short on SCO. Okay. And then right now what I'm doing is I have that going. That's a short for crude, SCO. And then I trade, be scalping the UCO. But right now, look what we have, okay? So we couldn't get through the 50-day again. Then we popped up, couldn't get through that 21-day, and then we closed at the bottom below the 21-day and the 8-day. Now we put in a lower low situation. So this looks like this wants to come down and retest this level, okay? But let's go one level at a time. So today, so far, we put this low in 57.42. What we're looking for here next is going to be 57.34. That is going to be your support level right there. Okay. Now we lose that, you're going to come right here at that 56.35 level, and then retest at 55.96. We lose that, your target is sitting right there at 55.12. We lose this, you're looking 53. You're looking at 50, 47, 43. That's what we're looking at. However, we got to lose that key level right there, 55.96, because that's what I've been holding for quite a while now. Okay. Now on the upside, we're looking at yesterday's low at that 58.59, but realistically, right there, 59.17. That's what we're looking for. Okay. We're looking for the 21-day, 59.98. Very, very key. Okay. We got to get back above this 8-day, that 21-day, in order to attack that 50-day again. Now, the odds of breaking through that 50-day, you're going to need some big-time news, because just look in the past, not working. But we have a descending situation here, and now it looks like we're breaking lower than that. But again, we still have this descending, okay? So we'll just see how that's going to shake out here. But you got to get above the 50-day in order to attack the 62 level, in order to attack the 100-day, in order to attack the 200-day, and in order to attack that. So right now here, the short is working very, very nicely. So that's what I got on here for right now. I'm going to see how this is going to go. Now, the thing about the crude ski is T-Man put the sanctions against Russia, against the largest two oil companies in Russia, and that's about a quarter of their green. So that's not good. Okay, I mean that's going to take against crude, and then we have a huge glut in crude. Okay. However, the U.S. now is starting to fill up the SPR with the old crude. Okay, so that's going to be a draw. But right now, this time of the year, summer driving season, that's long gone. Really till about the first week of December. This crude looks like it's going to be lower kind of a situation. So let's just see if it can hold that key level right there at that 55.96. Now, nowhere near overbought or oversold. This is not overbought or sold. This could go lower. So let's just see. Watch right to the left here. Everything you need to know is right there. We lose that, there's your target. All right, take a look here now at natural gas. All right, here we have natural gas. Now you can see here we have a nice good sideways action going here. Okay, so we had this bottoming tail, so always pay attention to those. Okay, just like when you have a topping tail like we had there. Okay, so we have that bottoming tail, and then she rallied up here, and now we're kind of like holding like a sideways action. The key is going to be holding that 4.49 on a closing basis. Okay, that's going to be very key. We lose that, we'll come down to yesterday's low at 4.45. We'll come over top of there at 4.40. Then we have 4.35. Then we'll come right to the bottom there at 4.23 and then 4.20. There's your 21-day. Now, you can see this is very, very bullish. How that crossed up, 50-day crossed up, and we're holding that 8-day in sideways consolidation. Now, upside, we're sitting right here. This is going to be a lot of resistance. So you're looking at that, roughly that 460. You look at 460 area. We crack that. You have 463 and then 468. Now, we crack that. Here's your target right there, 490. Now, it's not going to go straight up to 490. Okay, it'll go 475, 480. But that's really the target. It's going to be right at that 490 level. Okay. Now we crack that, you're going to be about 527, 550, 575, and then you go up to the 6 level. Okay. But again, always watch this and then see what the reaction is if it does get there. But right now, the key breakout is right here, is that 4.68. You have to close above this. So for me, all I'm doing is just scalping this in two directions, okay? UNG for the long, KLD for the short, okay? Very, very simple. That's all I'm doing. Until we could close against that 468, then I would jump in all UNG, and then we'll be looking for this target right there, okay? So for right today, this is what we're watching. Watch that 460 level, watch that 468. Downside, watch that 8-day. If we lose it, we could venture all the way down, okay, to your 435, to your 423, and even down to your 420 level. Now, very, very strong. You can see this. Now, it looks like an overbought condition, but we had that contract roll. So when the contract roll, it pops up, okay, and it looks like everything, like the stock is moving up or commodity, everything's moving up, okay? But where actually it isn't, you're just going into the next roll. That's why you look at like UNG or KLD or BOIL or any of these ETFs that you trade, they don't move. Okay, because it's a contract roll situation. Okay, but now here, very, very strong. The green and red, it's like a sideways action. And that's really what we have is consolidation off of this nice bottoming tail. All right, that's what I got for you. I'll be back here midday trading. We'll take a look here at some stocks. And now the old NASDAQ is down about a 107. And so we got to see how this is all going to shake out here today. Looks like NVIDIA had such a blow on numbers, and it's been selling now ever since. It's down another 3 points there today. Now, the one you want to watch here is going to be Netflix. I know it sold off here yesterday, but now they want to buy. There have been other companies who want to buy another huge. I think it's Warner Brothers. And again, if they can lock in that deal, something like that, that could be very, very good for the old Netflix. All right. Trade what's in front of you, not what you want.